crazy accusations of federal crimes against yourself, you know, your family and other private citizens. Like, you have to observe, you have to gather, you have to get legal counsel, and you have to listen to legal counsel.
See, she was thinking, she was like, I'm not just going to get in a Twitter fight. I'm not just going to yell stuff. I'm going to get a lawyer because this is Candace Owens. She knows the Trump family. She knows people. She's powerful and she's got money and an audience. I can't fight her. This is Goliath and I'm David.
You know, you can't just start, you know, going out there and be like, oh, I did it. Like, I think people want to see like this social media fight, and that's just not going to happen when it comes to me, right? I'm almost 40 years old. Like, it's just not. I'm a grown woman. And so, you know, when some people ask, well, why did you block Candace? Before I blocked Candace, I asked her if she wanted to go on Instagram Live and hash out whatever she wanted.
Wanted to go on Instagram Live, right? Now, if you know these women, if she's putting it out like that, she says, let's go on Instagram Live and hash this out. What she didn't want to do, and I'm telling you, Kim was smart for this. And I feel like I don't know Kim at all. I don't know. I've learned more about her now from this video than anything else. Kim didn't want to go to when the Queen summoned her because she was afraid that she would get her head lopped off. So she was afraid. So she wanted to go on Instagram Live so everybody could see it, right? So that she couldn't just get her head lopped off and then they would chop it up in editing and they would own everything, right? She didn't want Daily Wire to own everything and she'd have no ability to defend herself. She wanted to go on Instagram Live. Smart move.
To hash out. She didn't want to go. She wanted to do it on her show because we all know to watch her show, you have to subscribe. Like, you wouldn't see it for free. You have to subscribe. And then that helps her, you know, with her ratings and helps her.
Yeah, and they also own it and she can't show it. And whatever she says is owned by them, Daily Wire. Yeah, Kim was smart. She's like, I'm not going into that's an ambush. I'm not going there. And of course, all Candace wants is the grift anyway. So she's like, you got to come on my show so that people will pay me. Otherwise, no.
And Daily Wire, you know, get money. Like, they need more subscriptions there for people to watch the show. And so that's what that was about. And for me, I said to her, if you're really about, you know, me answering any of these questions, even though you're not a journalist, let's just go on Instagram Live.
There we go.
She refused to do it. I then got a call from a donor that we share.
Now, didn't I tell you about this? Right, this is common. It's in the libertarian movement too, by the way, right? This isn't just them. Our pool is small libertarians. So many of us libertarians, we share donors also, right? Donors who support one candidate, support another one. It's a common issue, right? So we do have that problem sometimes, right? We're small. Hers is small too because in her one Republican world, there are also Black conservative women. And those are certain issues that certain Republicans care about tremendously. They also wind up sharing donors. So what Candace was trying to do was attack her donors. And it worked. Her donor called her.
The donor that we share said, please do not go back and forth with this girl. He said, if you can, just block her. So I blocked her, you know. I didn't think anything of it.
Now, this shows that Kim is a little bit naive on this one. For those of you who don't know, if you played this game before with donors will always, this is a normal thing. It's not a good or a bad thing. It is. And if you run for office, you know what I'm going to tell you. Donors will always try to control their candidate. That is normal. That's how it works. They will always try. It is up to a candidate to know when to listen and when not. Sometimes you got to tell your donor no. Sometimes you tell your donor yes. If you always say yes, you're in trouble. My worry is Kim was totally taken back by this, didn't know how to handle it, and a donor said do something. She went, okay, okay, I'll do what you say, donor, because I'm scared. And if you've been in this world where you depend upon donors, they can be scary. They absolutely can be scary. One of the reasons why I have many small donors. That's one of the reasons why I have that.
They have blocking on social media, so you can do it if you want to. She was in my direct messages. I didn't post these just because I don't play that game. But she was direct messaging me like every hour for 3 days, right? It went from Fridays.
Now, you might think she's exaggerating. But you just heard how much rent-free space, thank you for that rent-free, that rent-free space that Kim is hanging out in Candace's head. So I actually believe Kim. I think Candace did text her like 3 times a day or whatever. I think that was true. I think that actually happened.
Saturday and then Sunday. And then I just made that little short video on Sunday just to address everything she was saying on Instagram. But yeah, I was like, dude, you have a new baby and a husband, and here you are literally direct messaging me all day long for 3 days straight. So I didn't know what was going on. It was very odd and bizarre behavior to me. And so that donor was like, let her die on this hill alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, sure. So,
but note what the donor said. The donor said, let her die on the hill alone, right? That's actually pretty smart in general. But Candace is not stopping. She's like, oh, I'm going. What did Christine say? No off button? Yes. Guys, you have seen, you've watched, if you've watched the show, you've seen people insult me directly to my face. You've seen, I just showed that McAfee interview where he insulted me like 3 times. I keep going. You can't be in this world and not expect to be insulted. It's just how it works.
I think some of the questions that were not answered, if I can run through them real quick. Fox and Lion LLC, like I said, Jesse's going to explain to you how much canvassing costs. A lot of people don't know how much campaigning costs. And a lot of this,
yes,
like I think that's what we see in the story. There are a lot of people ignorant to what it takes to run for office.
Yes.
And so I don't expect everybody to know, right? Like if you're a plumber, I don't know how to do any plumbing. You wouldn't expect me to.
Absolutely.
So I don't expect you to know how much it costs to campaign. Now, a couple of things, like I said, with the money, I never had access to the treasury, right? And so if you guys know Eugene, sorry, Eugene, throwing your name out there, but Eugene is the one that started off with my campaign when we got in the special election, and he purposely set it up to make sure that this would not happen.
This is why you have a treasurer, right? I had 2 different treasurers. This is why you have a treasurer. The treasurer is the person who deals with this. The treasurer deals with this to make sure. And I had a treasurer and a separate campaign manager, right? And I actually had a marketing budget. So I had 3 different people who were spending the money for me. I wasn't right. I had a little debit card, like when I'd go to a diner. That's all the money I spent was the diner stuff. And that was all on a credit card. So everybody saw it. And I showed you all my stuff. I took a picture of every diner I was in. So yeah.
I never had access. I could not withdraw cash. I could not wire funds, and I could not even write a check. So if I ever said we had to pay for something on the campaign, the treasurer would have to do it themselves. I did not have that access. So to say that I did money laundering, to say that my husband was involved in money laundering and he's a certified public accountant, I can't wait until his lawyer gets a hold of this whole situation. But that's not something you should be accusing us of doing. It is
Agreed.
Absolutely false. We had no access to any of the money. Now, I did notice that she did not even mention that we left close to $1 million in the bank. Did anybody account for that? No, because this so-called Instagram investigative and journalist is not an accountant.
No, she's an FBI/IRS agent. She is a self-proclaimed, Candace Owens is a self-proclaimed FBI IRS agent. That's a new type of agent. You thought FBI agent was tough? This is the FBI IRS agent. Way tougher. My question for you, Kim, is where's the cocaine?
And I just think it's interesting that people are saying, whatever Candace is saying is factual. It's not. No. I've never been under investigation for anything. I did nothing wrong. Like, this is it's so bizarre to me that people think Candace Owens in 4 days did more due diligence than the FEC in an entire year. And this is what they do. Just think about that part real quick.
I did.
Events. So some people were saying Pearl Events is not in good standing. Pearl Events is in good standing. Fox and Lion is in good standing. A lot of businesses right now in Maryland are in good standing, but it's not updated online. Okay, so Maryland and Baltimore, those state and city offices were closed because of the coronavirus pandemic. So everybody getting back to work now, they're all now starting to update their systems. Remember, Governor Hogan declared a state of emergency. Now that it's been lifted, I think it's over on August 15th. You should see a lot of those records shift. But
wow. So wait a minute. So everything that Candace Owens threw against the wall to act like you were evil and doing cocaine with strippers, you actually have a reasonable answer that people could research and look up. That's odd. It's strange how that works.
People were asking why Pearl Events got $119,000. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see that we have our, it was our election night party. We actually, we went live from our election night party on YouTube. That video is still there. We brought up Big and Rich. We had an event planner because, again, it's election night party. So we could not plan a party and run for office at the same time.
Can't do both.
We had cigar rollers. We had goodie bags. We had Sagamore whiskey tastings. This was a party to host for everybody that volunteered for our campaign. And you guys know we had hundreds of volunteers.
So wait a minute. So she paid $119,000 after the election. Why? It was an election night party. Huh. Crazy how that happens. Crazy.
So we wanted to make sure that we treated them right. They spent a lot of their time and effort trying to help me win the race. So yes, I don't take that back. I would still pay that much amount of money for the election night party. We had amazing people that worked on our campaign, and I wanted to treat them the best that I could. And I do not regret it. I would not take it back, and I would do it again. So that's that on that. I'm sorry, this is just so crazy to me. Human trafficking we were accused of. Really, human trafficking. So, the lawyers don't want us to get into everything, but I was never a madam. Are you kidding me? Some of these things, you listen to this Instagram live.
Now, I want to be clear. Is it a good look if she dated and married the strip club manager? No, it's not a good look. That's true. But who am I to judge? Maybe they were in love. Maybe they weren't, and he just thought she was hot, or she thought he was hot. Maybe, I don't know. But who am I to judge? How do I know what they were thinking? How do I know whether or not they were in love or not? It is a bad look, absolutely. But it doesn't mean it's shady, and it doesn't mean it's criminal. It just means it's a bad look.